You are tuned in to the Wifed Up Now What podcast. I'm Coriel.
And my name is TK. And this is the Wifed Up Now What podcast, where we bring y'all marriage management for the millennial wives.
Y'all, TK be so nervous about this intro. Let me just tell y'all.
You did it.
Y'all,
this is probably the first time I did it without having to start over.
It's okay. You did it.
Thank God for the progress.
So y'all, give her some love in the comments. Okay, every episode, hype her up because homegirl be so nervous with that. We are here to give y'all marriage management advice. What is that all about? Like, I personally am so sick of hearing and reading about all of the statistics. If one more person tells me that 50% of people are going to be married without giving me a solution to stay married, I'm going to scream. Yeah. And so instead of screaming, I said, well, let's just give the solution. Let's be a solution to the problem. Happy wives.
Happy wives.
Happy wives working to create healthy marriages. That's the goal. And we got a married man in the building. Okay, pan, wide shot. Where we at? Mr. Jeremy Anderson is in the building.
What's up? How y'all feeling?
Welcome in. We're good. How are you?
We're excited.
Good.
We've been waiting on the man to come on down.
Really have.
We've only had our husbands so far, but now we get a non-bias. Because the husbands, you know, they kept it halfway real. They kept it cute.
Because they got to sleep with you.
That part. They had to go home with us. And so we want to make sure that we are keeping it real, because I think a lot of the conversations on the internet, on these podcasts, are either divisive conversations that are pulling black men and black women apart, or they are fake and phony conversations that makes it look like, you know, just get married and everything is sunshine and rainbows. And that's not the case.
Oh, they only going to get the raw real with me.
That part. That's why we had to make it happen. Okay, so we always start the show by just giving some reactions to some of the craziness that's going on the internet street. So I'm going to play a little clip. For y'all, it's going to show up on the screen somewhere, okay? But here is our first clip, okay? And Jeremy, I want your reaction. So let's get into it. All right.
Okay. So the difference between men and women when it comes to going out partying thing, going to bars, whatever, is that women run passive game. Women don't approach men really. You just put yourselves in positions where you can be approached by men. So you go to the club, you go to a bar, you go to the party. You're not going to DM a guy. You'll post a picture to kind of elicit men to DM you. So men are salesmen, women are marketers, and essentially in a committed relationship, a man should stop pitching. So going up to girls, sending DMs, and a woman should stop advertising. By you continuing to go out to bars, clubs, and parties, you're still putting yourself out there. That's oftentimes why women will find replacements really quick, because you were generating leads the whole time.
So generating leads the whole time. Mr. Jeremy Anderson, what do you think about that?
Yeah, you know, for the most part, I agree. That's interesting. Men sell, women market. And you're right. When men go out, they trying to, you know, flex their muscles, their money. They trying to, you know what I'm saying, attract. But women just kind of go out and they just be. They just there with all their glory, all their beauty, sitting there alone or with their girls, kind of play hard to get. It's a different type of vibe. And that's fair game. But when you're married, it does hit a little different. You know what I'm saying? Like, for me as a husband, I'm not about to be out, you know what I'm saying, dressed a certain type of way, solo, knowing, you know what I'm saying, that they're going to be coming to me. You know what I'm saying? Because when I go places with my girl, if we go to Little Alley Steakhouse, if I go to the bathroom or she go to the bathroom, they waiting for her to step away. They waiting for her to step away. So I gotta be cautious on how I move, even when I move out solo. So I agree. I agree. I think there's a certain way that you should move once you're settled, established, you got your husband, you got your wife, so that you don't put yourself out there.
So we've had a conversation on a previous episode about single friends once you get married. And I think it's kind of that same conversation, because you don't want to necessarily like walk down the aisle and then run away from all your single friends. Like, you know, I can't hang with y'all no more. But I do think things change, expectations change. The expectations from your husband change. So you as a married man, do you have the expectation that your wife will no longer participate in single activities?
Well, it's different, right? You know, I've been blessed to have a wife that ain't on no dodo.
She ain't on that anyway.
Stuff. She ain't on that. So when she go out with her girls and half of them are single, like they go out, they have dinner, they have drinks, they come back to the crib. Like they not staying out till 2 o'clock in the morning. You know what I'm saying? So it's a different type of vibe for me. Now, if she were to do that, like how would I feel about it? It all depends on their friends. You know what I'm saying? Now, all her friends, luckily for me, are women of God, and they ain't going to be out on no dodo stuff. Exactly. But at the same same time, you do got to watch it. And so for me to keep myself safe, I'm only kicking it with my partners who married. You know what I'm saying? Because I got some homies that's getting the money as well, but they not married. And I'm like, I can't really make moves with you because you out on the hunt.
So do you put them in a box? Like, I can only, y'all my before 8 crew, like I can only kick it with y'all during the day, but at nighttime, I got to swap y'all out with the married bros?
No,
like, how does that?
yeah,
I don't think, I never thought about it from a male.
So I'll come to your crib,
perspective.
you come to my crib, like we could chop it up and kick it, but we not finna go out to the bar, to the club together and do it like that. So we got other ways we can kick it, work out, hit the gym, you know what I'm saying, go see a game or something.
Got you.
But, you got to be mindful of how you move in that space.
So what about married friends that are unhappily married? Because that's the thing, too.
Yeah,
if you're hanging out with people who are miserable in their marriage.
You got to watch their energy because they can put that energy on you. So now if their marriage is a failure, girl, you know they ain't no good. It's like, no, don't put that on me. My husband actually straight. It's your husband that ain't no good. So you got to really watch that. You got to really watch that energy because that thing is contagious.
Yeah.
Like, energy is contagious. If Corey came up in here with an attitude today, it's only a matter of time before that thing going to jump on you. Like, what's going on? So you got to really be cautious of what people speak over your marriage and the energy and the influence. Everybody want to be influencers, but we don't realize we're influenced by social media and the people that we surround ourselves with every day.
Yeah.
That part.
Yeah, I was going to say, I've talked about this, like, even with married women, I think a lot of times, even going in these places, you can tell who's happy and who's not. There was this clip that was talking about a man that couldn't decide who he wanted to talk to because, like, the virtuous women are blending in with the hoes now. Like, because everybody out,
got the BBL.
And just in the same environment. It's like, I do think there's an aspect of absolutely moving different as a married person in general.
Yeah, and I'm gonna say something. Primarily, women watch this. I'm sure some husbands watch it too, right? So I will say this to all of the married men out there that feel away that their wife is out here. Like, why you dressing like that to go to the club with your girls, and you feel like you just want attention? Well, like, bro, that's on you, because you're not giving her the attention she needs at home. At what point did you stop telling her she beautiful? At one point, did you stop slapping that butt in the morning? You know what I'm saying? At what point did you stop flirting with her? At what point did you stop texting her pics and just doing little things to keep it spicy? You done got accustomed to it, and now she feels invisible, and now she want to be seen. So I be telling cats like, bro, if you don't like how your wife moving, like, that's a reflection of you. Dr. Miles Monroe said that women are almost like a blank canvas, like land that we're supposed to cultivate. So if that land is not bearing and producing fruit, bro, that's on you as the farmer. You ain't planting the right seeds. You ain't dropping that D right. Like, you're not watering the way that you should. You know what I'm saying? Like, you're not fertilizing the ground. You sitting back complaining. And so there's a whole nother level to what men should be doing to really cultivate that love within their girls. It's easy for a cat to go out here and find a baddie every other week, but can you keep the same woman happy, the same woman pleased, the same woman satisfied year after year after year? That's when you show me how nice you are.
Period.
That part. And I think, too, a big conversation with the concept of marriage is men not wanting their woman to change. That's a big thing. Like, y'all, you was throwing it back. You was doing all of the things before we got married. Now we're married and you tired. You're doing all of the things. But that's a big part of it. It's, are we both consistently doing what we were doing? Because you can't expect me to do what I was consistently doing if you've dropped the ball, if you are no longer leading in the way that you have. So I think that's a really good point.
But and let me also say this, and I agree with you, but I'm gonna give a little pushback.
Please do.
Because you like, you can't expect me to do this if you're not doing that. That's killed more marriages.
The expectation of you.
Yeah, and only because, now what I'm about to share is hard and very controversial.
Yeah. Right?
But I ain't come to play. I'm keep it 100 with your audience, right? But for me and my wife would have been divorced if I had the energy of, if you handle your business, I'm gonna handle my business. And it makes sense in theory. It's just like, we a team. The offense got to handle their business. The defense got to handle their business. Any good championship football team got a good defense and a good offense. Yeah. So if the defense is phenomenal, but the offense is suspect, they're not going to get the chip, right? And so it's the same way in relationships. But for years, when my wife was not able to love me the way I need to be loved, I had a choice to say either I'm going to match that energy, but I made a commitment to death do us part, for better, for worse, for richer, for poor, right? And so I realized, like, okay, you in a weird place, you depressed, your body is failing you, you losing some kids, depression, anxiety, you done lost 3 family members in a year and a half, like, you not yourself, you changing, like, let me just step back and give you space to do what you, but I'm gonna still chase your heart, I'm gonna still make love to your mind, I'm gonna still pour into you, I'm gonna still encourage you, I'm gonna still love on you. Now, you're not able to give me what I need, but I'm not gonna let my love for you to be contingent upon what you do for me. Does that make sense? And so I want to just challenge
Please.
our audience.
Challenge me as well, because this whole, I'm in year 3, right? I'll be in year 3 in January.
It seems like
I'm
it's
trying
been
to
so
be
much longer.
year 30, year
Right,
40.
right,
And so
right.
if I'm going to be wifey for lifey, I definitely know that I don't have it all. I know that we all have room to grow. And that's what this is all about. Like,
Yeah.
how can I be the best version? And I've even gone home to Kendrick like, this show is challenging the wife that I am because I'm not a hypocrite. You know, I'm not going to come up here and talk about what we should be doing and then go home and act a fool. Like, this is challenging me to rise to the occasion. So get me together, bro. That's what we got you here for.
Yeah. And let me just say one more thing. I only express that, but I know how hard it can be. So I want to be balanced. I don't want people to look at me like I'm a unicorn.
Yeah.
Because some cats realize, like, bro, you went 9 months no sex from your wife, and you wasn't smashing on the side, and you wasn't falling into pornography. Like, how you do it, that took a different level of discipline. But the question is, why did I do it? Because I love my wife. I seen she was struggling. She gave birth to 2 children for me.
Yeah.
I seen them put that epidural on her back. Like, it was really hard. I seen her body, like, literally failing her mind failing her. And I had to make a decision, like, am I going to just move on? Or am I going to stay in the boat with you? So that whole till death do us part. So it would have been easy for me to say, man, I deserve this. I deserve somebody to love on me. I deserve somebody to serve me. I'm this type of man, 7-figure, blah, 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 blah. Do you know what I could get? Yeah. But it's like, yo, we made a commitment. I told her mama before her mama passed that I'm going to love your daughter forever. You know what I'm saying? And I'm going to take care of her. I didn't say as long as she take care of me. That's not the agreement we made. And so that's why I want to challenge our community and our people. It's hard. You got to crucify that flesh daily, but it's possible. And I feel like that's when you show real love. Corey, it's easy to love Kendrick when everything is
when
sweet.
It's good.
Yeah, but when he acting crazy and you like, you know what? I'm going to still honor you. And I'm going to still make this peach cobbler. Even though you acting real trifling, I'm still going to love you. That's when you showing real love.
That's when I have entered the real wife life. Okay.
I just want to say this is also really good for this culture who are everyone is so recyclable. It's always, if you don't do it, the next man will. And I want to dive deeper into this, but I know it's going to be a little bit later of like the discipline that is birth in a place of knowing that marriage takes sacrifice, that it takes compromise. I hear so many women that are like, if you don't level up, you know,
somebody else will.
And Michael will do this. And it's like, yeah, but your heart is still trash. You're still a terrible person. Go get the next person.
Same result.
It's still you. You still have to face the mirror. And I think this is beautiful.
He said your heart is still trash.
Still trash.
You're going to get the same result. Revolving door.
Yeah.
So we had another reaction, but we're just going to skip that next reaction because we got to get into the main topic.
Okay.
The main topic is this gender war, right? And I don't think there's a better person to talk about it with because you are a happily married husband, but you've been through some things. And I think that sometimes when you are, I don't want to say unhappy, but when you could be happier in your marriage, I think that that's when the devil, doubt, whatever starts to creep in and highlight some of those things that could cause war in your home. And so to combat that war, which you already came ready to do, we want to talk through some topics of bringing Black men and Black women back together.
Okay.
Like, how can we make sure that what I'm going out and doing as an individual and what my husband is going out and doing as an individual, when we come home, we are attacking the problem together versus attacking one another. That's our goal. So TK, go ahead.
Okay, so there is a huge battle of the femininity, the masculine, alpha, beta. If you don't provide this energy, we cannot be feminine. If you are not operating out of a level of being an alpha man, an alpha male, it is difficult for us to be feminine. So I want to ask you, because I have my opinions on it, how do you feel about women saying that we need this environment in order to thrive in our femininity? And do you think that men play a part in the lack of femininity and the lack of softness and the lack of submission in this culture?
That's loaded. So I'll say this. I do understand it. I do see it, you know, and I can understand why a woman would say, well, if you could just boss up, then it allows me to be soft. And I'm not saying it's right, but I get why they say that.
Yeah.
Women is in survival mode. You know what I'm saying? Like, you got to think about it. Like, a lot of women grew up, a lot of, like, the families in the Black community, a lot of them are broken. You know what I'm saying? I've spoken in hundreds of schools. I can't tell you how many kids that came up to me crying saying, I wish my daddy was in my life, or I wish my mama was in my life, right? So a lot of women feel like, I want to be soft, I want to be gentle, but if you ain't gonna handle your business, I'm gonna handle mine. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Because I ain't about to be out here just a damsel in distress.
Yeah.
Why? Because we dealing with strong Black women. Yeah. That ain't no negative thing. That whole angry Black woman, they bump that. We got strong Black women in our community. And so if men don't handle their business, I could see how they would, you know what I'm saying, say, you know what, I need to boss up. Case in point, Like, I be serving in my house, Corey. So let me just put it out there. I be vacuuming, I be mopping, you know what I'm saying? I be doing dishes. I do all of that, right? I be doing laundry. My girl went to Mexico a few days early for this event. I said, just get away and relax yourself. Let me tell you, I'm so ice cold with it. I made the bed, fresh sheets, fresh linens, but then I took that iron and steamed that top layer. So when I had that thing folded over, it was just like in the resort. You know what I'm saying? So I do all of that. But a few weeks in a row, I forgot to take out the trash and put it on the corner. So my wife is just like, bro, I'm not about to be talking to you over and over about the trash. So I look up and she just taking the trash out. Now, she ain't be like, you ain't take the trash out. But as a man, I felt the way like, hey, but why you ain't? She's like, you know it's trash on Wednesday. I'm like, nigga, I forgot. I'm out here making moves. I'm jumping on planes, speaking, jumping on stage. Like, work with me. She's like, I've been working with you. So as opposed to just asking you, I'm just going to do it myself. And I realized like, because I ain't handle my business. Yeah. She like, I ain't going to let this trash sit here. You a grown 40-year-old man. Like, I'm just going to take it out here myself. So I do understand that energy, while some women might feel like, well, if you can boss up and handle your business, then I can be gentle. But if not, then I'm going to go ahead and have to handle things myself. Because it's like survival mode, so I can understand that.
So do you think that is there the expectation of gender roles in marriage? Like when you got married, how old were you when you got married?
30.
Okay, so when you got married at 30, did you come into your marriage with an expectation of what a wife would do in the home or outside the home or whatever? What was your expectation if you had one?
It was like, if something broke, I'm going to fix it. The grass cut, I'm going to cut it. You know what I'm saying? Your tire's low, I'm putting gas in it. I'm washing your truck. You don't touch the gas. Like, that was my thing. You know what I'm saying? And if you're sick, I'm going to be the one to cook you some soup. Right? But what you're going to do is you're going to take care of the kids. You're going to look out. You're going to cook some meals. But she still worked for the government. And I'll make a mean enchilada. You know what I'm saying? So I could do that as well. But I did have the mindset like, you're going to be the homemaker and the one that nurtures the family. I'm going to be the one that provides and protects the family. And we're going to work together. And so that was the mindset that I had going in.
So when you were going through, I'm going to call it a rough patch for the 9 months. It is my assumption, and please correct me if I'm wrong, that some of the things, because you talked about the intimacy was not there. Were there other things that were lacking during those 9 months, and how did you manage that? Because to your point, there are so many men who would say, oh, well, homegirl down at the job,
Facts.
you know, homegirl down at the corner store, homegirl, you know, wherever homegirl might be, there are plenty of homegirls out here that's ready and willing to hold it down.
Right.
What did you have to say to yourself, or how did you discipline yourself in that time? Because sex is one thing, which might not be a big deal for a woman, but what if your man is going through a depression and he's not doing whatever you expect of him for an extended period of time? Like, how do you stay strong as an individual so that you can be strong for the unit?
Yeah, that's a good question. So for me, it was a mental game, right? So I'm playing like mental games now. And so for me, I realized like, okay, I made a vow to God. So I got a healthy fear of God. I was just like, you know, it's like, man, if I do this, ain't no telling what's going to happen. And right now I'm in God's favor. So there's that one level. The next level is I wouldn't want this done for me. So I really be living by the golden rule. You treat people how you want to be treated. So if I was dealing with some health issues and I couldn't lay the pipe or make love or however y'all want to say, you know what I'm saying?
You can lay the pipe over here and wipe up now with.
If I couldn't do that and please her, then I would want her to be patient, you know what I'm saying, with me. And so for me, I had to just kind of play some mind games myself. I had to be cautious of what I watch on social media. It's a whole bunch of people I had to unfollow and then mute. You know what I'm saying? If I'm watching a TV show and it's a lovemaking scene, I got to fast forward it. Like, there are certain disciplines that I put in place because I wanted to make sure that I was able to honor my wife. And then for me, the ultimate mind game is I got one of my friends named Daryl Thomas and his wife. I want to take 2 minutes to share this story. When he met his wife, he fell in love with her. Beautiful, long hair down her back, just everything he ever wanted. They dated for several months, met the family, and he was like, sir, I want to marry your daughter. My man, the father was like, you sure you want to marry my daughter? Yeah. I want you to meet my wife. His wife comes in. He wheels his wife in the wheelchair. He says, my wife has this disease. It's hereditary. It's a 40% chance that my daughter could have it. Are you going to love her when you got to wash her and bathe her, wipe the drool from her place? She's paralyzed. He was like, yes. They get married. 4 years later, she gets hit with this disease. So now he has to bathe her. He has to wipe her butt. Like, he got to brush her teeth. He got to do her hair. You know what I'm saying? Her face sometimes is twisted. He got to wipe the slide when they eat. I was just at an event with him. We went to dinner together. I'm seeing him feed his wife. Like, so I'm thinking, like, bro, if you gonna love your wife, she can't do nothing for you. She can't please you sexually. She can't go secure the bag. She can't even speak to affirm you when you go and handle your business. But you still show up I surround myself with people like that. I'm like, bro, that's real gangster right there. So I'm looking at my man like, bro, if you can love your wife and you can cherish your wife and you can take care of your wife and you knew going into it, she could possibly have this disease, it made me look like, bro, I'm on some petty stuff. Yeah. It made me look like I'm worried because I ain't busting nut in a couple of weeks or I'm depressed and she don't affirm me and she ain't speaking life to me. But I see this man over here, real man of God, handling his business. Like, that stuff grounds me and it humbles me. So people's like, yo, Jay, how you do this, bro? Who I surround myself with. We talked about that earlier. That spirit influence. And so because of him and how he honors his wife, it makes me want to be a better husband. That's good. It makes me want to be a better man. And so as challenging as it is, sometimes I have to put myself in the position, how would I want to be treated? What is the covenant, the decision we made together? What's going to stop me from breaking the covenant? And how can I be the best husband she deserves?
Let's talk about the covenant really quick, because as I said earlier, so many people are so willing to just recycle and move on to the next. What makes it worth? Like, what is the benefit of fighting and like staying in it with no sex? You said for 9 months, which is almost every man's love language, is to be intimate with them. No intimacy. What makes you say, I can go to the next one? And she probably will affirm me. She probably will have sex with me all of the time. What keeps you in there? And what's the benefit? What's the benefit of staying?
You know, I think love is tested. And so at that moment, when me staying and me fighting, I'm letting my wife know, for one, you worth it. I'm letting her know, like, when I told you I loved you, when I made that covenant, when I made that vow before God and our family and friends, like, I'm really honoring that. So it kind of goes back to integrity. Like, am I a man that keep my word? You know what I'm saying? And so it's one of those things to where, for me, it's like black or white. But the mind games come in where it's like, man, I deserve this. Like, let me just speak to the real dude that's like, bro, I hear you, bro, but come on, bro. Like, I'm a man. I got needs. Like, trust me, bro. I'm a manly man. Like, don't play with it. You know what I'm saying? But at the same time, I just realized, like, there was just certain things my wife wasn't able to do. And so now it's like, I got to show you how committed I am. I couldn't go to my kids 10 years from now and say, you know, I left your mom because she just didn't do it for me no more. And that, you know what I'm saying? Like, I can't go to my daughter and be like, yep, another man could possibly come and raise you, and now you calling him stepdad because I wasn't able to be disciplined, or I wasn't able. It's like, nah, I made a vow before God. Yeah. And God told me years ago, Cole, this is the crazy thing. God told me, he said, how you handle my daughter is how I'm going to handle you. So when I tell y'all, I got a healthy fear of God, so God's like, be cautious on how you talk to my daughter. So when she come home and she having a bad day and she a little snappy and I give her grace and I play it cool and don't take it personal, I don't want no smoke with God. He's like, but that's my daughter. That's my precious baby girl. Like, she already, as a black woman, is not really loved and valued out here in the world. So if the world is beating her up and she come home with an attitude, can you be strong enough, long enough to take it? Can you be tough? Can you be a punching bag? Or you want some, you gonna respect me? But it's just like, bruh, she having a rough day. She might be dealing with some hormones. Like, and guys be getting in their feelings too. I hate it when cats be like, women are emotional. Bruh, stop playing. Guys is just as emotional. We just show it differently. You know what I'm saying? And so for me, I'm just like, I want to always honor my wife. And I feel like that's why I'm favored in health. That's why I'm favored financially and in business, because how I deal with my wife is how God deals with me.
So I've heard you speak about the fact that she wasn't speaking your love language at some point. Was that the case before you got married? Because my question is, would you say to someone that might be a deal breaker if this is on display before you get married to someone, that they are not speaking your love language? Should that be a reason for you to question this relationship? Yeah. Or should you say that this could be my person, maybe we can grow together? Because you obviously have. Yeah,
so for me, I actually saw those, I don't want to say warning signs, but it's not like we got married and everything changed. But at that time beforehand, I was smoking 2-3 blunts a day. So for me, it's just like, oh, you ain't really feeling me right now? You ain't feeling me this week? Like, that's cool. I'll just put some in the air, and it kind of numbed the pain. But it's like, then I get baptized, I give my life to God. I'm like, you know what? Let me cut the drugs and alcohol. I ain't kicking in no more doors. I ain't selling no more dope. Like, I'm going to be a real man of faith and of character and integrity, and I changed my life. Then we got married, and then I realized, like, oh, that that behavior, like you still struggling with the affection. And you know what I'm saying? And through marriage counseling, I began to understand the ways that I hurt her and some expectations that I didn't meet that was never communicated, but there was still some resentment, which made her close off her heart. It's some things I said and did that I feel like that wasn't nothing crazy, but my wife is very special. She rare. You know what I'm saying? It's like you have an exotic car. You can't put whatever type of gasoline in there. You know what I'm saying? You got to put that 93 boy in there. So I kind of took the wrong approach early on and said some things that kind of pushed her back. And then when you did the mental challenges and health and everything else, it just kind of had her in a weird space. So for me, I had to get to a point where I was just like, all right, you struggling? Like I'm struggling. We're going to have to just figure something out and kind of grow from there.
Yeah, I feel like the background noise to this conversation is being a man of God. That is probably the
Knowing
biggest
the
part
source,
of this.
submitting to the source.
Yeah, and like having a bigger purpose, because I didn't hear you say because she necessarily deserved it or she deserved for you to fight through any of these things. It's like, no,
Let me tell you something. That's the opposite. Can I keep it 100?
Please do.
I remember going to God like, bro, she don't deserve me.
Wow.
I remember thinking like, we making all this money. She can go to the mall and buy Fendi. I remember one year she got like 10, 12 designer bags. I'm like, man, the life we living, the life I've afforded her to live. And she did help me build this empire. So the only, you know what I'm saying? Like, I wouldn't be here if it wasn't for her.
She was in the gym.
Yeah, she was in but at the same time, I was just like, yo, I'm a good dude. I'm washing dishes. I ain't talking to you. I ain't never cursed at my wife. I ain't never yelled at her. I ain't never put my hands on her. You know what I'm saying? Like, I honor her in every aspect. I'm hella patient. I'm like, bro, I'm a catch. Like, you don't realize, like, what you got? She don't deserve me. I was telling God, like, she don't deserve me. And God was like, yep, and you don't deserve to have this 7,000 square foot house.
How about that?
And you don't deserve to get paid $35,000, $45,000 every time you speak. And you don't deserve all the time somebody done kicked in the door, all the drugs, all the time you had dope in the trunk, and the cops pulled you over, and for whatever reason they let you go, like, you deserve to be in prison. That one time in 2002 when somebody put a Uzi to my head that could have blew my brains away, God was like, you want to talk about what you don't deserve? Bro, you all the wild stuff, all the times you walk up on the side of the road, drunk out your mind, you didn't know what you did for the last 12 hours. Like, you want to talk about what you deserve? God was like, all I bless you with, all I favor you with, your health and everything else. Like, you don't want to talk. I was just like, all right, God, my bad.
Okay.
I was like, I just playing.
I forgot who I was and what I do.
Right, but I had that energy, like, I'm doing all this for you. And God was like, and I've done all this for you.
Yeah, that's
You know what I'm saying? If you want to stay in my grace, you want to stay in my favor, continue to honor my daughter.
That's good.
So I got a real question, Jeremy, because all of this is real good. But I got a real question for you, okay? It's about these double standards because I feel that there is one thing that regardless of the man that you can be, if your wife were to cheat on you with another man, or with, period, man, woman, whatever, if your wife was to cheat on you, would that be something that you could come back from?
No. I ain't gonna hold you. Holy Ghost would have to just put some extra oil on my forehead. For me, because I'm so loyal, and because that's the one thing I feel like I struggled with for so long was that intimacy. And she did the best she could. Again, you know what I'm saying? Fibromyalgia, endometriosis, adenomyosis. Like, her body was literally failing her. There was a season where sex itself was actually painful. And so I ain't gonna be that dude sitting here, you know what I'm saying, humping and you in pain. Like, that ain't me. You know what I'm saying? Like, this gonna be mutual for us. And so because that's something that I longed for and I cherish so much, I'm like, shoot, I can give everything to the world except for my body. Like, for that to be broken, because that's the one thing I longed for so much, I just don't know how I could recover. Now, the words say I can do all things through Christ who strengthens me. I get that. I'm just being honest with y'all. Like, that's the one thing for me where I would be like, you know what? I would feel like that's a sign. You know what I'm saying? I ain't gonna hold you, Cole. Like, that right there, it would be hard for me to bounce back from that. Because of the hurt, because of the damage, you know what I'm saying? Because of what I've endured.
Right, and your
years.
very unique circumstances.
Yes.
Got you. Okay.
Yes. Speaking of double standards, y'all know there is this whole conversation about women, bodies, body count, all of that, and men kind of expecting this virtuous woman. Very low body count, don't be out here bad. But meanwhile, y'all can have the 10 baby mamas, all of the extra hoes. Do you think
all the extra
hoes on the side, and we just like, you know, that's a man. That's what he do. Do you think there's a double standard in needing men wanting or desiring this virtuous woman, and y'all can be out here bad?
I do think there is a double standard. I do think some guys, what they value, saying some guys might have 80. You know what I'm saying? They was kind of moderate with it, but they girls.
Wait a minute.
80 bodies?
80 is the moderate.
And it was moderate?
Well,
Is that what you said?
it also depends on how old. If you got 80 and you 24, then that's excessive.
That's
But if
wild.
you got 80 and you 40, okay, we're not gonna talk
Go ahead.
about
No, go
that.
ahead. Go ahead. I'm sorry. Go ahead. Go ahead.
20 bodies a year.
Got you. Go ahead.
Yeah, which
He
ain't,
said light
which ain't
work.
crazy, you know what I'm saying? But anyway, we can talk about that. But it's like, well, I got 80, but you got 20, and it's like, oh, I can't be. But I get it though, because men are very dominant and very possessive, and it's like I only want to be the one, and so I do understand the double standard. I'm gonna tell you a funny story about me. I remember one time we were driving and we was passing a strip club, and my wife was like, I remember in college I went there. I was like, for real? She was like, yeah, I just went there with a friend. I said, a friend? She's like, yeah, one of my homeboys. I said, oh, that's what you were doing? Like, I ain't know. She was like, bro, it wasn't like that. Like, we wasn't whatever. I'm like, cap, bro. My man, as fine as you is, y'all done came down here during college. They was in college at Alabama A&M. And y'all just happened to go to the strip club and kicked it. She was like, yeah, he had a place here and we was just, hanging out. But he didn't smash. Like, we was literally just friends. In my brain, though, I'm just like, but that had me hot for like a day and a half.
Not a day and a half.
Oh, I'm ready to find my
from
man.
college.
I'm ready to put a hit on my man head. Like all the little Holy
Because
Ghost left
your
me.
wife went to the strip club with him.
Right, because I was really thinking like, really, he ain't smash. But so it is a double standard.
Yeah,
I
it
ain't gonna
is.
hold
Thank
you.
you.
So that definitely for sure is a double standard. And last question before we get into this game, though, is around the expectation of faithfulness. Because when there's a conversation of the high value, which I really think people mean high earning. I think y'all really just talking about men
For
with money.
sure, because they do not add the character
They're not
part.
talking about no
They're not talking about
morals, no real
integrity.
values. Y'all are just talking about
Yeah.
money. But with men with successful men, high achieving, high earning, however you want to classify them, do you think it is still fair for a woman to have the expectation of fidelity from that man? Or should you know what you're getting yourself into? A man is only as faithful as his options. Like, do you subscribe to those theories or not? Because you're surrounded by successful men.
So the question is, do you feel if you a high value man, you should get away with certain things?
Should a woman expect a high value man to be faithful?
Absolutely.
Okay,
And
it's
that's what makes him high value. Y'all said it right. Either we talking about high earning or high value. You know what I'm saying? Because there's some cats out here that's making $80,000 a year that will run circles around somebody that generated $1.2 million.
Yeah.
When it comes to character, when it comes to love, when it comes to everything else. And so that ain't everything. It's a whole bunch of folks out here that got all the purses and all the Birkin bags, but their heart is broke and they don't know when they man gonna come back home. So miss me with that. Like we need to, but it's balance. It's a balance. And so I do feel like absolutely what really makes a man a high value man is his commitment and his faithfulness.
Is those values. Okay, it's time for a game.
Let's go.
Okay, so this segment is called Run or Have Fun. Okay, so this is for the single ladies that are tuning in who desire to be wives. So put yourself in this position. Okay, you're big bro. Little sis is coming to you. She's like, yo, I'm dating this guy. Should I stay and have fun, or should I get the hell away and run?
Okay.
All right.
let's go.
So homegirl comes to you and she says, yo, big bro, I'm dating this guy. He is super kind and considerate. He wants a commitment, but he has a 400 credit score. Should she run or have fun?
How old is she?
We don't have no details, Jeremy.
said
That's it.
details,
That's all we got.
please.
That's all we got.
I would say have fun.
Okay. Okay.
And can I tell
explain.
you why?
I'm running. Yes. No, please explain.
Yeah, and let me tell you why. So when I first met my wife, I had a trash credit score. That wasn't 400, but you know what I'm saying?
Did you even
Like,
know 400 was possible?
That's
I didn't even know it's
crazy.
possible, right? But it's like, but let me tell you something. It also depends on his personality. If he cocky, if he arrogant, you feel like you can't tell him nothing. But if my man is humble, he working hard, he made a whole bunch of mistakes, and you can help him out of that. Again, I wouldn't be who I am and where I am if it wasn't for my wife. Like we built this dynasty together. So I would say to have fun. If he checks off every other box
Except that one.
except that one, you can bounce back from that.
That's good. Okay.
For you?
Run. I say run only because this has happened to me. So
now, somebody 38 and you got a 400, it's like, all right,
That's
bro.
a little wild.
Yeah.
stop it. Please stop.
Yeah.
Okay, do the next one, TK.
He's your crush from college, but he has dated one of your friends. So this girl is dating a dude that she went to college with, but he smashed the homegirl.
Yeah, you're gonna have to run from that.
Okay, we're all in
I'm
agreement.
just not sure if somebody can really bounce from that, and then you got those feelings. Like relationships is hard enough. You don't need
Without
that
any
thing hanging
extra.
over you. Absolutely.
Yeah, that's a run for me.
Okay, so what about if he's a great guy, but he faithfully watches old Kevin Samuels videos?
I mean,
Y'all wrong for putting Kevin Samuels out here like this, first of all. That
May
is
he
so
rest in peace.
terrible.
What's your perspective
on Kevin,
as a married man?
He said on Kevin.
On Kevin, yeah.
you know, I don't subscribe to it.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? Like I move and think differently. Different strokes with different folks, but I will wonder, like, bro, why you know what I'm saying? Like, why you watching that?
What are you getting from it?
Yeah, what you getting from it? And is that gonna now influence you? But yeah, I ain't tripping.
Okay.
Y'all know how I feel about Kevin Samuels. I honestly think that women can learn from him in some ways. Yes, he has trash ways of communicating. Definitely does not have the same doctrine that I have, but I mean, simple conversations like a man wants a woman to submit. A man wants a feminine woman. A man might not desire a woman with 300 bodies and 5 kids. I think this is I think the reason why women especially hate them is sometimes women do expect to be accepted in all of their ways.
Take me as I am.
Take me as I am. Not only take me as I am, but I'm still a prize. Even with all of these bodies and all of these kids and all of this
Because I look good.
Because I look good. And sometimes they
Right.
don't be looking good either, though. So it's like, accept
right.
it.
And here's my issue with Kevin Samuels. This is like, you know what I'm saying, when he was alive doing this thing, it's not what you say, it's how you say it. So
It's
it's
the
a way,
antics.
it's a
Yeah.
way, hey, beautiful black sister, I know you want this, but maybe you should focus on that. Like there's a way where you can, you know what I'm saying, give that medicine, but put a little honey with it. You know what I'm saying? And so the way you just bash him and you just cold and you just mean, like that's the part that I didn't connect with. But there was some value.
You could take
There
from
was
it.
some things some good takeaways that he was sharing, but how you present that. And the majority of women see him feels like he does way more bashing and playing and too harsh of a reality check versus a different type of
Offering
approach.
solutions.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
it reminds me of even like, I don't know the podcast, but like all the men that get like basically sex workers and prostitutes and like use these people just as example to back what they're saying. It's like, I mean, yeah, this is foolish. So I feel like even the women that he was bringing on.
Is that who be on the podcast? Sex workers and prostitutes?
Yeah, like I don't know the two white boys and they have like prostitute. Yeah,
Those are
yeah.
prostitutes?
No, but he always has prostitutes.
Okay,
and sex
sorry.
work-
I'm sorry. I got
well,
lost.
I call them
Okay.
prostitutes because they smashing Negroes for money. So that's what I put it as. But they call themselves OnlyFans people. But I feel like it's the same thing. Like Kevin Samuels is literally getting women on there with bonnets, with baby bonnets. It's like y'all know what he's about
You
to do.
showed up here.
He's about to rip you apart. You came on here looking a mess.
And you also
And he specifically chose people like that because he's looking for ratings too.
Yes, of
Let's
course.
be
And this
clear.
is my last point to this because I also think that it brought awareness to the delusion in women. Like, again, women expecting certain things and men too.
Men showing up to get a Range Rover with a 400 credit score is what Kevin Samuels was talking about. You cannot say, I deserve this Range Rover. You got to
Absolutely.
say, I have earned it. I
Absolutely.
have done the work to get it. And that's the message that I got. Did he have to play the Humpty sound effects and all of the things? Like,
He
that was
did
a little,
do that.
I mean, it was very rude.
That
you know,
was
but
crazy.
he was running a show, whatever.
Yeah.
Okay, last one.
Okay, last one. Please read it, girl.
Okay, so his mama comes over every single week, twice a week actually, and cooks dinner for him. Should I date him? Should we have fun or run?
She comes over
Cooks for him.
once or twice
Twice.
a week and cooks dinner for y'all or for him? Oh, no. If she cooking it for him, you run. If she's cooking it for y'all, have fun. Big Mama coming cooking dinner for all of us, like for the family, that's different. But if it's like, hey, baby, I made you this meal. Hey, Sabrina.
Yeah.
I hope you ate.
Yeah, that's a problem. Yeah, for sure.
Okay. I'm gonna say run either way because,
Definitely run.
ma'am. No, you know what? I'm the one in the relationship. My mom is single, and my husband's mom is married. It is such a different thing having the single mom. So I can't imagine being married to a man with a single mom because the responsibility of having a single mom, that's a real thing. So that would be my run is I want a mama with a man.
Yeah.
Cook for your own man. I'm going to cook for mine.
And if you do cook for him, cook at your house.
That part. Invite him over.
We'll come by and get the food together.
Yeah.
Both
Both of our
that's
plates.
the difference, yeah.
You ready for your favorite segment?
I don't think I am.
She's not ready, Jeremy. You made her nervous. Okay,
No,
she's about to get ready.
I am, because first of all, this is the first time I've done this segment with a man.
A man, yeah.
So I had to filter this. I'm already going to filter and do the best that I can, but
Jeremy's like, what are y'all doing? So this is the Wifey Keeps It Spicy.
Okay.
You said this earlier. I'm like, did you
this
read
is
our
the
cards?
This is actually a cleaner version of Wifey Keep It Spicy. I made it cute and clean. So this week, let me just put this disclaimer out here really quick. This is for the wives that desire better intimacy. This is not for the women that are okay with what you got going on. If it's good, it's good. Yeah, if y'all cool with the same positions, this is not for you. But this is for the women that want to heighten the what am I trying to say? Intimacy.
Intimacy, yes.
So we are going to stay cute, stay clean, and stay ready. Now, we got the whole thing where the women are walking around the house looking busted and disgusted. And I just want to say, I understand. I am a mother of 4 daughters. It gets busy. You get overwhelmed. You don't feel like getting up and putting oil on. But I want to encourage you to invest in some sexy loungewear. So while you are around the house, while you are doing the laundry, while you are doing the dishes, have on your cute little outfit. Like get yourself cute and ready for the day. Not only for your man, you are going to benefit off of this. I know I don't feel, when I got a list of things to do, I got to do laundry, I got to homeschool my kids, I have a Zoom call, I have a coach call, all of these things. If I look a mess, I feel a mess. But also, my husband benefits off of me looking good because he wants to look around. If he went to a job, he gonna see good-looking women. While he at home, he gonna see a good-looking woman. But there's a warning, Coriel, to this.
Girl, I saw the warning. I almost
There
flipped
is
the
a
card.
warning to this. I need y'all to prepare that he is going to want you all the time. That's the caveat. Be prepared to be desired. Be prepared to perk it up. Be prepared to give it up. That's just the consequence of it. Number 2, this is for my Black queens.
That's everybody, girl.
We got to put the bonnets away, y'all. There's a certain time of the day that y'all do not need to have these bonnets on. Why y'all wearing bonnets to Walmart? Why are y'all wearing bonnets all day? Why are y'all wearing your hair wrapped up? I get it. It's $500. It's $1,000. This stuff costs money. But no man wants to see you like that. He didn't meet you that way. You don't want him to look busted and disgusted. So wait until a certain time before you decide to wrap that hair up and become Mama D or whoever you decide to be at a certain time. Now, the last one. Everybody prepare their spirits. We're going to throw this out here really quickie.
Really quickie. She got ahead of herself.
Master the quickie. Master the quickie. Let's go ahead and master this. There has been a lot of complaints from women that are unfortunately tired of giving it up so often. Men are desiring intimacy. It is a part of their love language. And we're like, okay. Again, as Coriel said 2 episodes ago, we want it again. Yes, he does. You got married. This is a part of the game, but you don't got to be doing rounds. We want to master the quickie and figure out how to give head quickly.
You got it out.
Master it. And how do we master it? We're not getting into super deep details, but the simple solution to this is ask him. I think that pornography has perverted the bedroom. I think that pornography has perverted our expectations. You get in that bedroom doing everything that all them white girls done did that ain't real, that they getting paid for, that they putting stuff in. That is not the way to do it. So you want to actually ask him. You want to ask him, what do you like and how do you like it? And not assume that he is like everybody else. So master it. Get it done quickly.
And that's how Wifey's keeping it spicy.
Purr.
That wasn't too bad.
It was
I cringed
bad.
a little bit. Okay, last segment. Wifey for Lifey. Because again, we are here to offer solutions to these statistics.
Okay.
So if 50% of marriages are failing, 4 wives in their first 3 years of marriage, right? Because I feel like if you can get through those first 3 to 5, baby, I'm praying. That's my philosophy right now, but we'll see. What's your advice though? How can a woman who is in her first 3 years of marriage, what can she do now to be wifey for Lifey?
I would say communication is the biggest thing. You got to communicate your needs. You got to communicate your wants. You got to communicate your values. You got to communicate what they did and how it upset you, how it made you feel. because oftentimes communication can kind of set boundaries, but it can also let the other person know, like, this is what I like, this is what I don't like. So I feel like in every relationship, the majority of the time, the biggest issue, the biggest challenge is the lack of communication. Because in order for a relationship to grow, you got to be able to communicate. So I would tell somebody that's in their first 3 years, make sure that that's a part of your marriage, that you guys are effectively, openly communicating on a regular basis, talking about your thoughts, talking about your feelings. And it could be as simple as in the morning time, you pull your boo, your bae aside, y'all pray together, and then say, hey, what's on your heart? What's on your mind? How was yesterday? How you feeling? Should I have done something differently? When you did this, it made me feel like that, but don't keep it in. Because resentment has killed more marriages than infidelity. You know what I'm saying? And so I believe that as long as you communicate and you continue to be open and vulnerable and transparent, that's how you can be wifey for lifey. Now, oftentimes people think about intimacy as just when you just naked and you having sex, and y'all, intimacy is when you are naked emotionally. You know what I'm saying? So what I realized years ago, I was looking for a certain type of intimacy, but my wife was looking for more emotional intimacy. So now I'm talking her head off. I'm like, you want to talk about all your thoughts and feelings? I'd be like, help me, God. I'm trying to get up in there. You know what I'm saying? And now she feels that much closer to me because we sharing so many thoughts and feelings. And so I would say to heighten the communication and then heighten the intimacy, but not just physical, the emotional. And that can be game changing.
That's big. That's big. A big complaint that men have shared is that women are not vulnerable. Women aren't, a lot of times we're not in tune with our feelings, our emotions to communicate them. So that's big.
And sometimes, and it takes time, it takes practice. My wife has not been the super, she like an introvert. She off in the cut. She don't want a whole bunch of focus on her. She don't really share a lot. But we've done years of marriage counseling and marriage coaching. And now we got coaches now, they be like, Dr. Mobley be like, no, Tracy, you do have thoughts. She's like, no, I ain't got no thoughts. That's cool. She's like, no, you do have thoughts. You do have feelings. And so sometimes you got to be able to coach her through it. So I done got so nice with it now because we done invested so much in our marriage where I'm like, okay, well, babe, you don't have any thoughts. Okay, but when I said this, how did it make you feel? Or was there another way I could have said it? You know what I'm saying? Or should I have said it this way? If I would have said that, how would that have made you feel? You know what I'm saying? And then I like, I got to pull it out of her. Now, some cats might be like, bro, that's a lot. Well, she's like, you know what? That's why I get a lot. That's why I gain a lot. And she's worth the investment and the time to really pull out of her how she feels. Because my wife, she like, bro, I ain't trying to ruffle no feathers. I ain't trying to get into it. Like, it ain't that deep. I'm like, boo, it is that deep. You that deep. Your thoughts, your feelings, your emotions are that deep. And so I really try to stay in that space where we always communicate and we keep it vulnerable.
And creating a safe space for her to do that.
Yes.
And then one more thing, just for the fellas that might be watching this, God was just like, first off, you need to shut your mouth. Because now she's sitting here telling you how she feeling, you trying to fix it. That's one of the biggest mistakes I made as a husband. And my wife was just finally, she's like, bro, I don't need you to fix everything. Stop trying to be my hero. I just want to share with you. So now I got the wisdom. It's like, hey, babe, when you share this with me, are you just expressing how you feel? Or do you want to come up with some solutions? Is there a way I can help you?
Yeah.
And then she will say, no, I was just expressing, I got it. Or she might say, yeah, I actually do need some help. Like, what do you think? Yeah. So I learned, because I be doing the most, Corey. I done got myself in so much trouble because she's like, bro, you do the most. I ain't asked you to do that. Like, now you sitting here fussing and you going all in. I just wanted to have a safe space to share how I was feeling. And so I've learned that over the years as well.
I love that. Okay, so I need for you to look in this camera and tell the people where they can find you. But what is a marriage coach? I didn't know about this, but you get a coach for everything else in life.
Right.
Tell us about a marriage coach.
So you have some people who are marriage counselors and therapists and then coaches. And sometimes they can kind of cross over. So I have a marriage counselor, Dr. Renee Mobley, Mobley Neal now, and she's a licensed, she's a doctor, you know what I'm saying? So she's like a marriage counselor, therapist. But then I have Shannon and Shirley Austin, who actually did marriage counseling with me and Tracy when we first got married. They live in Atlanta. Y'all gotta have them on the show. Me and Tracy would have been divorced if it wasn't for them. Right. Shannon and Shirley Austin.
Miss Shirley. She's highly initiated. Hardly initiated.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay,
that's
we are
my
gonna have
people.
them on the show.
She taught me how to drive a stick shift back in the day.
Shut up.
I've known them for over 30 years. Yeah. And so I say all that to say, when it comes to them, they are more marriage coaches. They gonna coach you and guide you throughout the process and journey, and they were a game changer for our marriage.
Okay, we'll get them
for sure.
Okay, in this camera, tell the people where they can find you, how they can stay connected.
Yep, one on Instagram and most social media is one Jeremy Anderson, website jeremyanderson.org.
That's it, y'all. Another bomb-ass episode of Wiped Up. Now what? Whew.
Do all the things, y'all. Y'all already know what to do.
Like, comment, subscribe, share this
podcast,
episode with a
stream.
friend. Okay, conversations that are truly going to move the culture forward. Thank y'all for tuning in, and we'll see you on the next episode.